So, Ian Bell from Slightly Mad Studios is claiming they want to enter the console war by 2022. And I'm a nerd with onions, so let's talk about that. So today, as I was browsing the internet, I came across a small piece of news about the gaming industry, as I would do usually, because I read a lot of gaming news. And I saw the CEO of this company with no hardware experience talk about a new video game console coming in 3 years' time. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually pretty interesting that someone would risk doing that in 2022, but I thought it was interesting. So I looked into it, and I found out they have claims that just do not make sense. So Ian Bell, the CEO of Slightly Mad Studios, is claiming they want to create a new console that will be better than everything else we've ever seen. And what they're promising is a console that will run incredibly fast. They're comparing the performances of their console to a very fast PC 2 years from now. And they're also promising a competitive price, which is just absurd. And when I say competitive price, they mean a price that will be comparable to the PS5 or whatever new console Microsoft comes up with. And that's very concerning because that doesn't sound realistic at all. They're promising a console that will be able to support most major VR headsets and also support 120 FPS in 4K. Well, I don't know if it will be both at the same time, but the console will support 4K. Now, I'm no expert on consoles, but saying that it will be equivalent to a very fast PC 2 years from now is insane. I will never claim to have the best PC ever made, but it's still a pretty good machine, and by no means it is the best. And I have to say, only the graphics card in this computer is worth $600. So you're telling me that you can build a console that will run games better than my computer for the same price as a video game console, which doesn't sound anywhere near something sane. But let's say I believe you, Mr. Bell, that you can deliver a console with those kinds of specs for a decent price. Let's say I believe you. I don't, but let's say I do. You're also claiming that you have no plans for exclusives. And this is where I start having a big problem with your claims, because exclusives is what sells your console. Because if we look at it this way, right now in the current market, if we look at a console that is stronger, more powerful than everything else on the market, which is the Xbox One X, why is it losing the console war then? The PS4 is nowhere near the power of the Xbox One X, but it still has about half the sales of the PS4. And the Nintendo Switch is about to catch up too. I don't have the exact numbers right now for the Switch since they're out of date, but the numbers I have is that the Switch, which released in 2017 versus the Xbox One, which released in 2013, the Switch has 22 million copies sold from the graph that I have here, which is probably outdated because I know that the Switch has outsold itself for the first year just in the holiday season of this year. Just tell me why a console like the Xbox One, which is stronger than everything else, barely has 39 million copies sold versus the PS4, which has, I think it's, from the top of my head, it's 80,000 copies or something. 80,000 million? No, 80 million. 80 million, I'm sorry. I can't talk. And the reason why people do not buy Xbox One is because there's nothing exclusive for it, or the exclusive are not strong enough to sell the console, even though the power is there. It's a lot more powerful than a PS4 or a Nintendo Switch. The Switch is a tiny little thing compared to everything else, and it's still selling like hotcakes. Now, I hope your console will work, just because competition is really good and better prices, and consoles will try to one-up each other all the time. If the PlayStation, well, if Sony sees that your console is so much stronger than theirs, they will probably make a new one that will be even better, more powerful for a comparable price. But that's the thing, I have issues believing, Mr. Bell, that you'll be able to deliver that at the price you're saying without selling at a loss. Sony had to sell the PS3 at a loss for a long time, and it was nowhere near as powerful as what you claim you're gonna make your console to be. So it just doesn't compute with me that what you're promising is supposed to work. Now, I know you also, there's also a mention in that article, let me pull it up right here. They're mentioning that they're going to let you use their engine for free. What's the name of the engine again? The Madness engine. So they're also claiming they're going to let you use the Madness engine, which is what they use for Project Cars and probably Need for Speed as well, Need for Speed Shift to be exact. But even if you provide people with that, if you're not gonna have exclusives on your console, it's not gonna sell on the basis that it's stronger. Like, if your console cannot run anything my computer cannot run, I will not buy it. And I think a lot of people will think that way as well. If for the same price, I can buy a console that is not as powerful, but has a lot of fun games that I can't have anywhere else, I'm still gonna buy it. But if your console is more powerful, but still offers the same game I can play on a computer, I'm just not buying it. So to wrap this up, Ian Bell also states that they have early prototypes, pictures that they're gonna show in a few weeks, about 6 weeks time, and I can't wait to see those. Like, I wanna know what you're cooking up, Mr. Bell, but I'm just not buying it. Until you can show me exactly what you're gonna put in that console so that it can be priced at a reasonable price, I'm not buying it. And I'm strongly recommending that you reconsider your little plan for exclusives. This is Nos Syndrome signing out, and that was my onions on the Mad Box by Slightly Mad Studios.